In times past, nuns from Spain were assigned to Peru. While the sisters were concerned about the natives and their pagan ways, the Mother Superior mocked the local superstitions, took the sisters to the edge of the rainforest, and led them in prayer. Gusts blew, and dread pierced their being, but Mother Superior insisted it was nothing, and they continue. The sisters waited, but she finished. The winds died. Mother Superior scolded the sisters and questioned their devotion. That night, a horrible scream woke the nuns. They assembled, except Mother Superior. Her bedroom was empty. They searched the grounds and found her body. Her limbs were contorted. She had an expression of witnessing unspeakable horror, and her body was where she prayed during the day.
She was one of the first victims of Peru's forest demon, El Tunche. And this is Legends from the Pacific. Aloha, and thank you for joining us. This is Legends from the Pacific, episode 99, Peru's Forest Demon, El Tunche. I am Kamuala Kaneshiro, a native Hawaiian professional writer, speaker, and Comic-Con panelist with extensive film and television experience. I study mythology, I've encountered unusual things, and I'm a geek. You can support us by getting 2 or 3 of your friends to listen to our show. This simple request goes a long way in helping us grow our show. And a big mahalo nui loa to our Patreon members, whose support keeps our show going. Later in this episode, your featured song in Hawaiian word, but first, let me share with you El Tunche. Several of you wrote in suggesting this episode, so thank you for taking the time to write in your suggestion. Little is known about El Tunche, because there hasn't been many who survived it. Since Peru's dominant religion is Roman Catholicism, it makes sense that El Tunche has been described as the devil, and its hell is Peru's rainforest. It is believed El Tunche is the spirit of an evil man who roams at night, so it is not advised to wander the rainforest at this time. El Tunche's appearance is unknown, but many believe he has cloven feet. Its unknown appearance fueled the rumor that it may be a shapeshifter. But El Tunche is known to call out to people by whistling. Some who claim to have heard the whistle describe it as worse than nails against a chalkboard. It's an unsettling sound that fills you with dread, and you shouldn't mock it or whistle back, because you may anger El Tunche. It's usually best to run from the whistle. That being said, people theorize this may cause you to get lost and killed by El Tunche or another rainforest predator. The remains that have been found were mangled beyond recognition. But there's a theory El Tunche reflects the individual, so if you are nice, it will be nice to you, and it is vengeful to those who disrespect the rainforest.
In the burning village's glow, the mercenary approached the rainforest edge and relieved himself on some plants. Murderer, butcher, rapist. He heard it all before, but it didn't matter. Everyone who called him that was dead. He finished and admired the raging fire that could be seen miles away. His earpiece chirped. "Sir?" He keyed his mic. "Go ahead. Is the fire going to spread?" "Negative. The forest is too wet." "Copy." Static buzzed in his ear. "I thought you charged the radios last night." The crackling amplified. He cursed, jerked the headset from his walkie, and threw the cords towards the inferno. "I should have planned for it to spread. The developers might have given us a bonus." Something moved in the rainforest. A pair of reflecting eyes were perched above a branch. He smirked, quick drew his sidearm, and shot. The eyes vanished. Wings flapped and faded into the rainforest. "Damn bird, I swear I hit it." A low whistle pierced the air. The mercenary shivered. He grabbed his walkie and keyed it. "Team, I don't think we're alone. converge at the village's 11. Static erupted from his radio. He threw it against a tree, raised his assault rifle, and entered the rainforest. Several yards into the forest dimmed the inferno. Shadows moved beside him. His muzzle bursts were like a miniature sun. Its roar echoed in his ears. He closed his eyes to lose his light blindness. The whistle's low tone floated through the forest. He opened his eyes and mocked the whistle. "You think you're smart? Come out then, and let's get this over with. I'm a busy man." He advanced deeper in the growth and opened fired. The developers never heard from the mercenary or his team. Human remains were found, but unidentifiable. Many believe the mercenary and his team were cursed from the start. It just took a demon to show them they were in hell.
A big mahalo nui loa again to you who wrote in requesting this story. If you'd like to suggest a story, just send me a message via our feedback link in our show notes. Today, there's been a few films about El Tunche, but possibly the most amusing rendition is the video game Tunche, where El Tunche is the main villain and a collection of heroes must stop him. So, while researching this episode, I was reminded about similar Colombian and Venezuelan stories, which I couldn't help but wonder if they were the same entity or a coincidence. Nonetheless, while El Tunche could be a very dangerous specter, its possible merciful behavior illustrates many of our story's underlying theme, which is, what one culture calls a demon could be another's guardian. If you like what you heard, please give us a rating and write a review. I'd really appreciate it. Our theme song is Mystery by Tavana, courtesy of High Sessions. Sound effects are by Sound Effects Factory. Our music coordinator is Matt Duffy, aka DJ TripleBypass. Links and show notes can be found on our website, legendsfromthepacific.com, including a link to your featured song, which is Watch the World Pass By Me by Mango Season, courtesy of High Sessions. Legends from the Pacific was written, produced, and edited by me, Kamuela Kaneshiro. I also wrote our original stories. Your featured Hawaiian word is kaimoni. Kaimoni means demon. An example of kaimoni is in DC Comics. Teen Titans member Raven is half human, half kaimoni. Once again, kaimoni is Hawaiian for demon. Thank you once again for listening. Mahalo and a hui ho.